WBCB presents Pro Wrestling Weekly,
the longest-running pro wrestling radio talk show in the history of terrestrial radio.
And he's obviously Michael Cole.
Call in with a question or comment at 215-949-3232 or 888-922-2149.
Talking wrestling.
Yeah.
Because that's what this show's about. That's what we've been doing for over 16 years.
No. It's about sports entertainment.
And now here are your hosts of Pro Wrestling Weekly, Fearon and Lucas DeSangro.
Will you stop marking out over there?
Sorry.
Move over, kid. I'm taking your microphone.
You're shallow. You know that?
I'm running on 2 hours of sleep. I don't remember what the hell I do anymore. Shut up! There's the sound of the bell, and we are set to go. This is Pro Wrestling Weekly here on 1490 WBCB and online at WBCB1490.com. Alongside Ted Efa in the production room, I am Fearon Derry. Looks like I'm flying solo today. Although, given what is going on with Twitch, it would not necessarily surprise me of his absence, although some information about that would be nice. See a fourth wall. But yes, Lucas is preparing tonight for his first ever title shot at the MFPW. That's right, he's going to be challenging Soriano for the MF Network Championship down at the MFPW. Tell you more about that a little bit later here in the hour. So I would imagine that is the reasoning as to why he isn't here. But I don't know. I'm sure even if I had asked him, he'd probably be like,
I don't need to prove a damn thing to you.
So we'll see. Who knows? But maybe we'll hear from him at some point in the hour. But as of right now, no clue. But we've got a lot to get into. Firstly, and well, not foremost, but there's a lot to go on here with the program. A programming note for next week. It was an inevitability, I suppose, or bound to happen at some point. But we will be preempted next week due to Pennsbury High School football being broadcast on a Saturday, both here on 1490 WBCB as well as being video streamed on WBCBsports.com, I believe, or WBCB1490.com. Not quite sure which of the two it is. I know there's been a lot of technological developments here, and while most of our games are broadcast via video stream on the air, or on the video stream, and have not interrupted the on-air feed, the Pennsbury games are the one exception to the rule, and with them playing on Saturday right at noon next week, that means I've been told to get out of the way for a little bit, or as Jerry Lawler said, well, at least for 1 week anyway. I don't know if I'd call it great necessarily, but nonetheless, being told to get on out of here, at least for the week. But we'll be back on the 30th, and for predictions certain to go wrong for No Mercy next week, I'll have that up on the Facebook fan page. But also some news and notes to get into, as we tend to do here on the program, and some other fun stuff to talk about as well, including, well, we've got an interesting venture if you want to involve yourself with Chris Jericho. We'll let you know what that's about. Also, a longtime wrestler and promoter who passed away this week, who has a rather dubious distinction. We'll put it that way. Also, there's a mobile WWE game coming up in the works, and a couple of surgery stories to get into, one for an active member and one for a Hall of Famer, although the other one, I would imagine, down the road will be a Hall of Famer as well. And we'll also talk a little bit of ratings here in the hour, as things, well, I don't know if they're necessarily great in terms of WWE. We'll just we'll leave it at that. And also some news of an upcoming documentary later this week, and an international tour that WWE has that's well, a little bit of a head scratcher at first. We'll put it that way here. Plus, we've got all the usual stuff today in wrestling history. We've got the birthdays coming up near the end. I'll go over the No Mercy lineup coming up in a little bit as well. Certainly plenty to get into with it. And we'll go ahead and start right off the bat. Let's talk about that mobile WWE game that's in the works, courtesy of Reliance Games, which is a leading global developer and publisher of free-to-play mobile games. Well, they announced a multi-year agreement with WWE to develop a mobile game featuring WWE superstars and legends. Now, it's currently in development, and it's called WWE Mayhem, and it will include arcade action with over-the-top signature moves enhanced by unlockable content when used in conjunction with items from a forthcoming Mattel action figure line. So, a little bit of combination utilization there, although when it says over-the-top signature moves and arcade action, the first thing I think of is the WrestleMania the arcade game. I know I'm probably one of few, it seems like, that was around, or at least remembers that as a early teenager when that came out back a little over 20 years ago or so. I don't know, am I the only one on that? I think there's a few that you remember. I'm sure some of the younger folks are probably like, what's an arcade? But that's a whole nother story here. It was, although I think it was platformed over as well for the, if nothing else, I think, was it both the Super Nintendo and Sega Genesis? I don't know, I'm going back quite a ways here. Yeah, that's right, it was Super Nintendo and Sega Genesis had it, and I think it was differing characters depending on which one you had gotten, but it was almost, I guess, since the maker of it was, I think, was it Midway that developed it? The same people who made Mortal Kombat. So you almost had your different WWE superstars competing in Mortal Kombat type fast-paced fighting action. I think, yeah, that's right. They also made NBA Jam back in the day, so it kind of had that same kind of feel to it, but as I said, with different stars. I think at the time, let's see, there was Lex Luger, Bret Hart, The Undertaker, Shawn Michaels, Razor Ramon, Bam Bam Bigelow. Who am I forgetting? Yokozuna and Doink the Clown, I think, were the other two, and they all had their own interesting, interesting maneuvers, I guess, for lack of a better term, including what looked to be an I-beam coming out of Lex Luger's forearm, representing that steel plate in his forearm that he had with the surgery. Doink the Clown literally electrocuting his opponent with the joy buzzer, the old handshake type thing. The Undertaker shooting out demons as if they're fireballs or something along akin with those fighting type games. Those are just some of the wild, over-the-top type things that were in the WrestleMania the arcade game, and that's the first thing I think of when it comes to that here. But the game will allow players to take control of WWE's most popular legends, including The Rock, The Undertaker, Stone Cold Steve Austin, and Goldberg, as well as the current roster of fan favorites such as John Cena, Triple H, Brock Lesnar, and Roman Reigns. Now, Amit Kanduja, the CEO of Reliance Entertainment Digital, said that Reliance is excited to be working with WWE so tightly to create this experience. WWE is known worldwide for the energy and explosiveness that they bring every single night. We couldn't be more excited to help translate this excitement to mobile. Meanwhile, Casey Collins, the WWE Executive Vice President of Consumer Products, adding, quote, WWE Mayhem brings action and entertainment for the entire family with simple gameplay mechanics for casual players and deep progression elements for core gamers. Reliance's history of working with world-class brands and their expertise in free-to-play mobile gaming made them the natural choice to partner with on this exciting new game, end quote. The press release that they issued earlier this week also lists games under the Reliance header, such as the Badlands Blade Battle, the Real Steel series, Drone Shadow Strike, Drone 2 Air Assault, Monster Trucks Racing, Hotel Transylvania 2, Pacific Rim, and Super Pixel Hero as examples. So those are some of the other games that Reliance has produced. I'll admit, when it comes to mobile gaming, I got nothing. I can't say that I've really run into much of any of those. Just, I don't know. Even the more popular ones, like let's say, what was that one from a few years ago that everybody, Candy Crush Saga or Candy something along those lines. I know I sound so old right now. Yeah, what is this Candy Saga Crush thing? But no, I didn't get into that. I didn't even play Pokemon Go when that was a thing. What was it, a little over a year ago now? Was it 2 years? The time just, I guess it was a year ago that the Pokemon Go craze had almost everybody swept up. I was one of the few exceptions, apparently. I don't know. Do people still play that? Am I the only? I don't know. It's amazing how time changes things when it comes to different fads like that. Anyway, before we get into more news and notes here, let's go to the phones here. We've got Ed from Northeast Philly on the line. Ed, welcome to Pro Wrestling Weekly.
Good afternoon.
What's going on?
We have Chikara coming up at the end of the month at the Wrestle Factory in Northeast Philly. 4711 Mingate Street.
Oh, that's right. That's right. That's coming up 2 weeks from now at the
I
the
think
Wrestle
I mentioned
Factory.
that last week.
Yeah, it's an excellent question. I know it says Tooth
Hal
and
Wickett
Claw.
and Rory Gulak. It's a 3 p.m. bell time. 3 p.m. September 30th.
Yeah, an interesting event. Tooth and Claw is the name of it. And that's going to be that's going to be at the Wrestle Factory in Northeast Philadelphia.
We have Wrestle Pro coming up October 13th in Rahway, New Jersey. And Pat Buck versus Dan Math in a barbed wire match.
Oh, wow.
$1 million man Ted DiBiase's on the card. Sanjay Dutt. Al Snow.
Oh yeah, Wrestle Pro always does a great job of bringing in some big names, not only from the past but up and coming names as well. I know that I was going to say one name that I've seen cross my path, and actually I'll be seeing later tonight is Mario Bocora, who's spent a good amount of time up there. But yeah, that'll be up in Rahway, New Jersey, and tickets are available for that still at WrestleProOnline.com. And just look for the link to the October 13th event. They're calling it Friday the 13th, Blood, Sweat, and Barbed Wire. And that's at 275 East Milton Avenue in Rahway at the Rahway Rec Center. Autographs.
Game Changer Wrestling tonight, this afternoon, 4 p.m. bell time. Nick Gage Invitational. They have Matt Tremont and Teddy Hart, Joey Janela, and Nick Gage.
Oh wow, yeah, Nick Gage.
I think it's like a deathmatch tournament.
That one, yeah, I was gonna say I'm not too certain of, although I'm quickly taking a look here. Yeah, the Nick Gage Invitational 2, and that's gonna be later today. 8 of the world's very best deathmatch wrestlers coming together for one unforgettable tournament. Representatives from GCW, DTU out of Mexico, and Freedoms from Japan will be involved. And this will be Matt Tremont's final deathmatch tournament. And, okay, doors open at 4 for VIPs, 4:30 for non-VIPs. Wow, okay. Cyclope is going to be involved in the tournament. Nick Gage, Matt Tremont, Daisuke Masaoka from Japan. And as you said, yeah, Joey Janela is going to be taking on Teddy Hart. Should be very interesting later today.
That means that Matt Tremont is going to be retiring?
Well, it doesn't say that. It just says it'll be his final deathmatch tournament. So... yeah, I guess the potential for three death matches in one night is a bit much, and I wouldn't even be able to compete in one, so I can't say as I blame him for stepping back on that.
And Battleground tonight in Fearless Hills, well, not Fearless Hills, Feasterville at the Sportsplex.
That's right. They're expanding their locations. I know they've had some events recently over in Fairless Hills, but yeah, they're at the Sportsplex over at 1331 O'Reilly Drive in Feasterville, and that's an 8 o'clock bell time later tonight. Let's see, Bull James, Joey. I'm looking at the card here. Bull James against Joey Mercury. That's on the card. Matt McIntosh and Anthony Bowens. Corey Castle will be in action. just to name a few. And that'll be up in the Feasterville-Trevose area. Plus Joey Mercury. Bull James against Joey Mercury. That's going to be huge.
That's going to be interesting. That's about it.
Appreciate the look at the local scene, and
good luck on Twitch.
Yeah, I'm guessing he's in deep preparation, as I haven't even heard from him all week. Yeah, we'll see how that goes later tonight, and I'll bring that up right now here. Thanks so much for the call, Ed. Love the look at the local scene from Ed from Northeast Philly. But also tonight, yes, the MFPW returns to the world-famous Monster Factory at 541 Mantua Avenue in Paulsboro, New Jersey, and it's tonight for back-to-school beatings. Reduced ticket prices, but all the action of the MFPW is intact. You'll see Getty Cahoon face Royal Money, also the Money and the Miles. Mario Bocaro, I mentioned a little bit ago, teaming up with Falaba, defending the MFPW tag titles against the Power Plays Nick Camarado and Jackson Stone. They have been on a roll since winning those titles almost a year ago. Also, LSG, former Supersonic champion, faces Corey Hyena Hex with Mark Cruz in Hex's corner. And as mentioned earlier, Soriano defends the MF Network Championship against Twitch in Twitch's first shot at a championship at the MFPW. I'm pretty sure that's why he is not quite as conspicuous by his absence. Plus, as if all that wasn't enough, you have an opportunity to be part of a new docuseries. Details to contact the producers will be given out during the event tonight. All this and more at the MFPW Arena tonight, 541 Mantua Avenue in Paulsboro, New Jersey. Tickets, not many, but still available now at eventbrite.com. And make sure to check out the MFPW and all things Monster Factory on Facebook, YouTube, Twitter, and Instagram, plus at monsterfactory.org. And make sure to check out past matches, bios, bloopers, and more at the mfnetwork.com, which is the home for the series Monday Night Monsters, which I'm proud to bring the play-by-play call alongside Chaz Williams, my color commentator. So that's going to do it here. One segment in the books, two more to go here. We've got room for your calls, 215-949-3232, or toll free at 888-922-2149. Take a look at the Facebook feedback as well, the Pro Wrestling Weekly Facebook fan page. Make sure to give it a like and a follow and chime in, as I love to provide the live reaction to things when commentary goes on there, and that's Pro Wrestling Weekly on 1490 AM WBCB. So make sure to give the group a follow here, and we'll come on back and get into more news and notes as well. This is Pro Wrestling Weekly here on 1490 WBCB and online at WBCB1490.com.
Join us this and every Monday night as we break down the upcoming Eagles matchup with Paul Jolovitz and Tom Cardella with the Independence Blue Cross Monday Night Kickoff Show presented by Corona. Join Paul, Tom, and a different Eagles guest each week from 6 to 7 p.m. as we talk all the ins and outs of Philadelphia Eagles football. The Independence Blue Cross Monday Night Kickoff Show presented by Corona every Monday night right here on 1490 WBCB, 610 Sports, and video stream live on WBCBsports.com as well as Facebook Live.
Take a stand.
Take a stand.
Take a stand.
Like my brother did, when he wouldn't take no for an answer.
Like my wife did, when she asked the right questions.
Like my friend did, when she made the call.
You stood by us when we were in uniform, so stand by us now.
Take a stand for those who served our country.
If you're a veteran in crisis, or know one who is, the confidential Veterans Crisis Line is here for you. Call 1-800-273-8255 and press 1. Chat at veteranscrisisline.net or text 838-255.
All commentators heard on WBCB express their own views. Their opinions are not necessarily those of others on WBCB, including the staff and management.
Hi, this is Governor Tom Wolf. Thousands of families across Pennsylvania have been affected by the opioid epidemic. Together, we can fight this disease. If you or someone you know is struggling with addiction, help is available. Visit pa.gov/opioids for resources and information on substance abuse. For treatment options, call 1-800-662-HELP.
Brought to you by the Commonwealth of Pennsylvania. Tom Wolf, Governor. Paid for with Pennsylvania taxpayer dollars.
Phillies fans, if you want to get inside the game, inside the team, and inside the strategy, then we've got you covered. Tune into the Baseball Insiders presented by SEPTA every Sunday following Phillies baseball. Former Phillies All-Stars Ricky Vitaligo and Tommy Green join host Phillies Director of Fun and Games John Brazier to recap all the action and look ahead to what's coming up for the Fightin' Phils. The Baseball Insiders presented by SEPTA right here on 1490 WBCB and video stream live at WBCB1490.com.
See, I just got the Luigi death stare from Fearon, so we might have to...
I didn't give you the Luigi death stare. That's not true.
You're breaking kayfabe.
Breaking kayfabe. Gonna break something else during this commercial.
There we go. That's what I like to see.
And now, more Pro Wrestling Weekly with your hosts, Fearon Derry and Lucas DeSangro.
Are we getting into that controversy again?
I know how it feels, and it's not fun.
Welcome back to Pro Wrestling Weekly here on 1490 WBCB and online at WBCB1490.com. Fearon Derry here, flying solo today as Twitch is preparing in immense preparation, at least as much as he can be, for his title shot later tonight at the MFPW Arena. Other things promotionally to get into here. How could I forget?
Stand back! There's a hurricane coming through!
And no, this has nothing to do with Jose, which has been confusingly making its way, hovering around the Atlantic, and now deciding to head north and might graze us here in the Philadelphia area coming up, I think, this Tuesday, where we'll see if you're heading along the shore there trying to get that last little bit of summer in. I think they'll tell you to stay out of the water for it, but otherwise it'll be mostly out to sea there. But no, this hurricane would be Gregory Helms. That's right. He will appear at George's Cards and Collectibles in the Chamonix Mall location on Saturday, October 14th from 1 until 3 p.m. And also on Friday night, November 3rd from 6:30 to 8:30 p.m., former WWE diva Rosa Mendez will be at George's in the Chamonix Mall location. And Eagles fans, can't forget about you. George's announced that rookie running back Corey Clement will appear at George's in the Chamonix Mall store on Friday, October 6th, from 7 until 8 p.m. Now, George's has 2 locations for all of your cards and collectibles needs. Their original store at 7755 New Falls Road in Levittown, and in the Neshaminy Mall in the movie theater wing. For more information, go to georgescollectibles.com and follow George's Cards and Collectibles on Facebook. Getting back to the news here, Y2J going to the C. No, I don't mean the letter C, but SEA, I believe. That's right. Chris Jericho has announced an interesting event which you can be a part of. Here's all the details. Give it a listen.
Wrestling, rock and roll, comedy, podcasting, all in the open sea. That's right. It's Chris Jericho's Rock and Wrestling Rager at Sea, and I want you to be a part of it. And if you want to go, and who wouldn't want to go, I'm going to be there. I want you to sign up for the mailing list at ChrisJerichoCruise.com and find out all the information you need to be a part of Chris Jericho's Rock and Wrestling Rager at Sea. Like I said, man, it's the cruise of Jericho. Sail away, man. Trust me, you're not going to want to miss this one. This is for all of you, the Jerichoholics, the friends of Jericho. Don't miss out. Don't be a stupid idiot. Put yourself on the list, the cruise list, the guest list, ChrisJerichoCruise.com. Come be a part of it. It's going to be the experience of a lifetime. In the open sea, in an ocean, just like this one, on a beach, just like this one. Don't miss out. Do it now.
That was put up on video yesterday in various forms of social media. That's right. ChrisJerichoCruise.com. Fans can get more information there as far as, once that information is released, by signing up for the mailing list at ChrisJerichoCruise.com. I'd imagine it's kind of like those, I know they've done wrestling cruises before with different wrestlers, but you get a little bit of everything with Chris, as he's been involved in so many ventures throughout his career, musically, wrestling-wise, even as a game show host. I know that would jump out at and piquing at my interest. Plus, also, I think, what do you do? Some VH1 analysis, some of the, I love the, 70s or 80s, whichever decade it was, or maybe it was the 90s. He's done some I love these over the years, I know as well, through VH1. So he's got a lot of different media presences, or he has a media presence in a lot of different places, I should say. And it would be interesting to have a chat with him and pick his brain on quite a few of those things. Also, some not-so-good news. Catch wrestling promoter and longtime wrestler Otto Wanz passed away on Thursday. Wanz was noted for having several records for tearing telephone books in half. He's got to have a pretty good amount of strength to be able to do that. Yes, it's that thing where you'd look up people's names and addresses and phone numbers prior to using, whitepages.com or a White Pages app or something along those lines. They actually had these very thick books for all you youngins out there. That was the thing. It was for a very long while. And Wanz was able to tear telephone books in half. Again, a very notable feat of strength considering how thick those things were. And he was also one of only a few wrestlers to have the distinction of body slamming both Andre the Giant and Yokozuna in different points of his career. Also, Wanz held the AWA World Heavyweight Championship briefly in 1982, defeating and losing it back to Nick Bockwinkel. Wanz was 74 years old. Also, I guess we'll get all the bad news out of the way in the middle here. The Big Show set to go under the knife. WWE announcing that the Big Show will undergo surgery on his right hip on September 29th. Show stating in a WWE.com interview that he will have the hip resurfaced. That just doesn't sound fun. Show was originally scheduled to undergo the surgery this past week, but it was pushed back due to Hurricane Irma. Show noted that he heard something snap when he performed a top rope elbow drop during his Raw match with Braun Strowman, but he is still unsure as to whether the snap came from his hip or elsewhere. Show noted in the WWE.com interview regarding the surgery, quote, "Will it impact the rest of my life and career? Absolutely. Anytime you have major surgery like this, there's a change that happens. Am I downtrodden or depressed? Absolutely not. I've had a brilliant, fantastic career. I've had the opportunity to work with the greatest people in this entire industry, and I'm not just talking about talent. I'm talking about production. I'm talking about our TV show. I'm talking about our live event people, our talent relations people, our travel people, everybody that's part of WWE. I've worked with some amazing people over the years, and I'm thankful. And I've worked in front of some amazing crowds from England to India to South Africa to Japan and Mexico, all over the world, and I'm thankful for all that. At this stage of my career, it's about going forward and getting a better quality of life for myself, making sure that I can still function and am not in a lot of pain, and rolling forward and seeing what the next opportunity is for me." It almost sounds, it almost sounds like he's preparing himself for this to be potential career-ending surgery as far as this right hip surgery. And given how long he's been around and that he's now in his mid-40s, that certainly is a question, as, the one person who he was compared a lot to over his career of Andre the Giant, even being in a storyline early on in his WCW career as being the son of Andre. Well, Andre lived to 46 years of age, and I think Show is just a year shy of that. So Show wants to make sure that he's around considerably longer in that regard. So looking to do all of the right things to get that going. Now, somebody else also trying to get himself righted via the knife would be Mick Foley, who announced on social media this week that, in better news for him, that he would be appearing on April 6th and 7th at WrestleCon down in New Orleans on WrestleMania weekend. And secondly, that he was getting right knee replacement surgery 5 minutes after his tweet was posted. That's right, he put the post while laying in the hospital bed getting ready to go under anesthesia and go under the knife. How's that for timing? He also checked back into Twitter after he kicked out of anesthesia, as he put it, and noted that he is feeling tired after the surgery, but was told that it was a success. And then he added on Facebook, quote, "Looking back, my decision not to wear knee pads the final few years of my career was probably not a wise one. Following my hip replacement in April, I could give Iron Man a run for his money with all the steel in my body. But I really needed the surgery. The hip replacement removed so much of the pain that I was in the last 8 or 9 years. But without this knee operation, I was going to continue with that noticeable limp. In case you forgot what the Godfather once told us about limping, it ain't easy." I feel like I should have a rim shot with these posts here. As it turns out, my right knee has not been able to straighten for probably 10 years or more. As a result, I've been placing far too much weight on my left foot every day for 10 years. And over the course of that time, it has greatly affected my walk. It has led to a domino reaction where other body parts were stressed when compensating for the knee injury. So although this surgery is a tough one, it was also a very necessary one. Now, I was going to say, I know exactly where Foley is coming from, as that's why I'm in the midst of physical therapy myself because of everything that went on with the double hernia surgery about 7 months ago. And it turns out that in that time when just taking time to let it heal, there should have been some physical therapy done at that point, as while that area was weakened, there was more stress being put on other areas, and that similar domino effect is what kind of has me on the shelf at the moment, other than using the one part of me that still seems to work, and that's my mouth. Insert your own jokes here. Foley had another tweet regarding the importance of Raw, but it was deleted shortly afterward because a fan called him up noting that if you zoomed in on the photo accompanying the tweet, you could read Foley's hotel number. Whoops. So he ended up deleting that tweet before he ended up getting inundated with calls as he was trying to rest up following the surgery. And Foley also noting on Thursday that he would be taking a short break from social media in order to concentrate on his physical therapy and some writing. So all the best to the recovery on Mick Foley, as well as the upcoming, hopefully successful and quick convalescence for the Big Show, going under the respective knives for their for their knee and hip surgeries, respectively. Well, we're going to make our way to another time out here, and of course, with that time being what it is, that means I got to let you know about Halloweekends coming up to the Broken Goblet Brewery, 1500 Grundy's Lane in Bristol, PA. Come scare up some fun and great memories alongside the selection of brews with special themed weekends in October, starting off with Children of the Grain, October 6th through the 8th, Pumpkin Invasion, October 13th to the 15th, The Freak Show, October 20th to the 22nd, and Drink or Treat, October 27th through the 29th. Meanwhile, enjoy some great brews on tap now, including the debuting Can't Wait 1 Minute More, a wheat pale ale wet hopped with fresh off the vine Comet, Chinook, and Nugget hops. When they're that fresh, you use them immediately. And don't forget tomorrow, which will be very acceptable. Ah, yes. As Mike and friends will be at Snipes Farm for Back to the 80s. That's right, the Back to the 80s 5K trail run and obstacle course with an 80s theme. So wear your best and brightest neon, your shoulder pads, your members-only jackets, mullets, and big hair. I was going to say, Ted Efaw cracking up out there in the city. I think he remembers a lot of these, although how much of those he still has now, he's shaking his head fervently. He has none of those. I don't know, the hair's still pretty big. Why is he shaking his fist at me? All right, anyway. As the event helps fund the summer camp children's education programs at Snipes Farm in Morrisville. So it's a great cause that is going to be so rad. Just a few reasons why it's always a good time at the Broken Goblet Brewery, 1500 Grundy's Lane in Bristol, PA. Broken Goblet Brewing, the semi-official brewery of Pro Wrestling Weekly. Please enjoy responsibly. Anyway, coming up, we'll talk a little bit of ratings, also an upcoming documentary that WWE has, and an interesting signing that looks like was reported on the Facebook fan page, courtesy of John from Northeast Philly. If you haven't gone there yet, we'll let you know what's going on the other side. This is Pro Wrestling Weekly here on 1490 WBCB and online at WBCB1490.com.
Hi, this is Chris Ermer, the host of Upwards here on WBCB. Each Tuesday at 1, we feature health and wellness tips with Maureen Solomon from the Philadelphia Protestant Home, the latest consumer protection news and info from consumer advocate Mike Bannon, and so much more. Find out about fundraisers, big and small, volunteer opportunities, local entertainment, arts and culture stuff, all that and more on Upwards. Join us Tuesdays at 1 on WBCB.
You won't see termites crawling across your floor, but thousands might be devouring the wood in your walls, weakening the structure of your home. For over 50 years, termite proofing and pest control of the Delaware Valley has been in the exterminating business. If you think you have a pest problem, they're the experts. Call them today at 215-639-5455. That's 215-639-5455 for TPPC. Termite proofing and pest control of the Delaware Valley gives your home or business peace of mind, knowing your pest problem is in their hands. Located at 1560 Bristol Pike in Bensalem, they use only EPA-approved material applied by licensed technicians. Call Termite Proofing and Pest Control of the Delaware Valley at 215-639-5455.
Energy costs are skyrocketing. Now is the time to upgrade your old heater and air conditioning systems to more efficient units to save on your utility bills. Harris Comfort can also handle all your propane needs, as well as providing sales and service on whole house generators. Harris Comfort is still family owned and has been serving our area for over 60 years, providing sales, service, installation, and peace of mind. Call 215-788-4596 or go to harriscomfort.com. Harris Comfort, still family and still local.
Affordable, dependable, and quality water and sanitary service is what BCWSA delivers to over 500,000 customers daily. BCWSA also offers pipe maintenance services for your home or business when dealing with something as minor as a sewer drainage or water supply problem. BCWSA is the utility of choice. Call BCWSA at 800-222-2068 or go to bcwsa.net. Your partner for a safer environment, BCWSA. Proven.
This Wednesday, September 20th, WBCB will be broadcasting and video streaming live from ShopRite of Yardley when they fight Hunger Day, with celebrity baggers throughout the day, including the mayor of Yardley, and WBCB will be broadcasting and video streaming live over 1490 AM and WBCB1490.com from noon to 2 p.m. So come out and help the ShopRite of Yardley fight hunger, located in the Cole Shopping Center at 1603 Big Oak Road, Yardley.
Pro Wrestling Weekly presents Today in Wrestling History, September 16. On this date in 1996, WCW Monday Nitro aired live from Asheville, North Carolina. In the main event, Lex Luger defeated Chris Benoit and Steve McMichael by disqualification in a handicap match. On this date in 2002, WWE Monday Night Raw aired live from Denver, Colorado. In the main event, Triple H defeated Jeff Hardy by submission to retain the World Heavyweight Championship. On this date in 2007, WWE held its Unforgiven pay-per-view. In the main event, The Undertaker pinned Mark Henry. On this date in 2012, WWE held its Night of Champions pay-per-view. In the main event, CM Punk fought John Cena to a double pin draw. On this date in 2013, WWE Monday Night Raw aired live from Cleveland, Ohio. In the main event, Daniel Bryan defeated Roman Reigns by disqualification. This has been Today in Wrestling History, September 16. Welcome back to Pro Wrestling Weekly here on 1490 WBCB and online at WBCB1490.com. Fearon Derry here, not alongside Lucas. That's right, Lucas is, I believe, readily preparing himself for a title match later tonight at the MFPW Arena. It's been announced. I know I talked about it a little bit earlier. He'll be challenging Soriano for the MF Network Championship, his first title shot at the MFPW in the brief time that he's been training, a little over 2 years now. So it's good to see that he's making his way up the ranks here, at least time permitting here. So taking a look, there's been a lot of back and forth and a lot of rumors. I know that that John from Northeast Philly had put something up last night about Ronda Rousey and WWE agreeing to terms of a contract which would make her an active member of the WWE roster. I'm trying to see where else there's a report on it. There's a lot of maybes and a lot of rumors, but nothing particularly confirmed. I mean, I see everything here from scifighting.com stating as recently as yesterday that Vince McMahon has reportedly decided to scrap a previously planned match, which I think was supposed to be set for Survivor Series, between the 4 horsewomen of the MMA against the 4 horsewomen of the WWE, noting that McMahon wasn't involved in the original angle that was filmed during the Mae Young Classic and that neither Ronda Rousey or Shayna Baszler have any kind of deal with WWE or ongoing negotiations concerning the storyline. Could that just be something that is kind of sweeping it under the rug? Who knows? But, I mean, there's been speculation and interviews and things of that nature. Even earlier this week, Ronda Rousey speaking with Sportskeeda.com, talking about her love of wrestling, obviously being involved at WrestleMania 31, and where exactly she is going next, as you saw during the Mae Young Classic, that the two of them, as well as Jessamine Duke and Marina Shaffi, having a stare down with Charlotte Flair, Becky Lynch, and Bayley, three of the four horsewomen of WWE, along with Sasha Banks. So there's been talks about it. Who knows where it's going to go? And Rousey's not really sure where she's heading next, as or at least she hasn't tipped her hand as to where that's going to be, considering that she's been doing some stuff in Hollywood. She could go back to resurrect her MMA career. She could try to reinvent herself in WWE. But it's pretty much, as it says in the article here, it all depends on Ronda Rousey and where her mindset is right now. But as I said, there's been talks about it all week. So one day it looks like it's going to happen, another day it looks like it isn't necessarily, and I think a lot of that has spun with that backstage segment during the Mae Young Classic. So who knows? I mean, there doesn't appear to be anything confirmed, at least nothing that I've seen via various reports. But I don't know. It maybe they're kind of just letting things settle down. Survivor Series is still a couple of months away, so maybe they figure, all right, if we slow play it here, it might garner some more interest coming up a little bit later. A little bit later this year as we get closer to that Survivor Series, and that would be very interesting. But I guess it's a matter of, all right, how quickly can the UFC how quickly can the UFC women or MMA women be able to acclimate themselves to professional wrestling? I mean, not all of them are necessarily a Matt Riddle, for example, who's been tearing it up since coming down to the Monster Factory to start training, and is pretty much wrestling wherever he wants and doing whatever he wants. Which, hey, that's not a bad gig, even if WWE isn't necessarily his goal. He's just traveling the world and making a lot of money and having a lot of fun doing so. But we'll see. Time will tell on this Ronda Rousey situation. Now, another situation that hopefully time will turn things into the positive here, it would be the ratings, which has been a bit of a conversation piece. I know we've touched upon it, usually more so the bad and the ugly than the good, and a little bit more of that now that the NFL season has kicked in, as that seems to be a time where you tend to see a notable ratings dip. And while not as notable as in past years, this particular week, yeah, definitely saw one. Monday's episode of Raw drawing a 1.97 rating, down from last week's 2.09 and well below the 10-week rolling average of 2.14. It's the first rating under 2 since July 3rd, because you had the holiday and whatnot, and one of only 3 instances since the beginning of June. This week's rating did beat the rating from a year ago of 1.88, where we were worried about hitting the panic button at that point, but that also took a big dip against the debut of Monday Night Football on ESPN. Last year, the rating went from a 2.11 to a 1.88, so this time around, it actually held on to more of the audience, as it started a little bit lower, but didn't dip nearly as low as well. Now, the average rating for 2017 so far for Raw is 2.12, whereas the average rating from a year ago, 2016, was, at least to this point last year, was 2.36. So there is still cause for concern, as it's dropped almost a quarter point in the last year. And the other thing being that with less of a loaded lineup than we saw this past Monday on Raw, what will happen next week as football goes back to its normal 1 game as opposed to the 2, and Raw has that less loaded lineup? Will we see more of a downward trend? Will things kind of even out? Will they even go up, as things look to have done with SmackDown the following night. That's right. Perhaps because football had started and people felt that they could get their WWE fix the next night on SmackDown, almost doing as well as Raw with a 1.93 rating among live and same-night DVR viewers. Total viewership 2.75, just over 2.75 million people. And that rating was up substantially from the 1.74 rating of the previous 2 weeks and was the highest rating for SmackDown since April 11th, right after WrestleMania. And it's also well above the 1.76 average so far in 2017 and the rolling 1.75 10-week average. So SmackDown ratings going up, Raw ratings going down. How much of it has to do with football? How much of it has to do with other factors? Maybe back to school's a factor. SmackDown not being as late. Kids are maybe able to watch that a little bit more. I know that was an issue that Lucas had as he kind of went through middle school into high school, which isn't as long ago as one would think at this point. But that was something that he had an issue with. So maybe now with back to school, that's another factor that hasn't really been talked about, or at least thought about in quite a while, at least in a lot of the things that I've seen. So I don't know. Your guess is as good as mine as how that's going to go. We'll see if there's a little bit more of an upward tick as things trend to No Mercy coming up 1 week from tomorrow, which let me take a moment here to take a look at the lineup for that. 6 matches so far announced. I'm sure they're going to put the big push on it and provide a few more matches coming up over the course of this coming week's programming leading up to the pay-per-view. You've got in singles action Finn Balor against Bray Wyatt. We'll get where it was the Demon before. Now we get to see Finn Balor, I guess sans Demon, just on his own take on Bray Wyatt. We'll see how that goes. Also in singles action, you've got John Cena facing Roman Reigns. I know we talked at length about the promo that the two had one another a couple of weeks ago, and how, well, that's where the see a fourth wall thing came in, for example. But things seem to have cooled off at least a little bit with that. And then you've got 4 different title matches so far announced, including the Cruiserweight Championship, with Neville defending against Enzo Amore, who's I guess they're working on a new direction with him now that he is split up with Big Cass. And then for the Raw Tag Titles, you've got a rematch as Seth Rollins and Dean Ambrose go against former champions Cesaro and Sheamus. And then you've got a fatal 4-way match for the Raw Women's Championship. Alexa Bliss defending against Nia Jax, Emma, and Sasha Banks. And then, of course, the biggie, Brock Lesnar defending the Universal Championship against Braun Strowman. So we'll see about those 6 matches, plus whatever else is announced this week, and I'll put the predictions certain to go wrong up on the Facebook fan page. So far, heading into this event, I've got a 6-pick lead on Lucas, myself with a 53-30 record for the year, Lucas 47-36. So we'll see how those do here. And a couple of other little tidbits of information. Firstly, going international for a moment, WWE Raw's crew will be running 2 live events in India on December 7th and 8th, according to the India Times. Now, it's expected that Jinder Mahal will break away from the SmackDown crew for the tour and join the Raw live events, as Jinder Mahal of Indian descent would be a huge draw down there in India. And it's the first tour of India that WWE has done since this past December. So it looks like a once-a-year type thing of WWE making their way over to India. And also, note for those with the WWE Network, the Trailblazer documentary on WWE Hall of Famer Alundra Blaze, or Medusa, will premiere on the WWE Network this coming Wednesday, September 20th at 9 p.m. Eastern. The synopsis for the 1-hour special reads, quote, 2 decades since her infamous title trashing, Alundra Blaze is inducted into the WWE Hall of Fame with an emotional career retrospective. Wonder how many WCW highlights are going to be in there of things such as her facing, Colonel Parker, for example, in WCW, and think also a cruiserweight title reign in there as well. I guess it can't all be about her mid-90s World Wrestling Federation run, but it'll be interesting to see what exactly they do with that. So once again, want to let you know that the MFPW returns to the world-famous Monster Factory at 541 Mantua Avenue in Paulsboro, New Jersey tonight for back-to-school beatings, where you'll see reduced ticket prices, tickets as low as $5, but all the action of the MFPW intact. Action will include Getty Cahoon facing Royal Money. Also, the Money and the Miles defending the MFPW tag team titles against the Power Plays Nick Camarado and Jackson Stone. That's right, the Power Play, a new faction formed by Bender, who is now no longer an active competitor, but is running a fearsome foursome, to say the least, two of those being Nick Camarado and Jackson Stone, and they're going to be challenging for the tag titles. Also, LSG facing Corey Hyena Hex with Mark Cruz in Hex's corner. And Soriano defending the MF Network Championship against Twitch in Twitch's first shot at a championship at the MFPW. Yeah, see, the kid's doing good things. I know he's been saying it for a while, but I don't know, maybe we're starting to believe.
I'm a celebrity now. That's right. I said it. I'm a celebrity.
Okay, maybe not that far. Yeah, even Ted Efaw is laughing at that, so I don't think he buys it necessarily. But all ribbing...
He's a contender.
He's a contender. Yes, he is. I could have been a contender, but Father Time is... he seems to be delivering more than a back-to-school beating to me at the moment. Anyway, plus if you have an opportunity to be you do have an opportunity if you show up tonight to be a part of a new docu-series where details to contact the producers will be given out during the event tonight. All this and a whole bunch more. It's tonight at the MFPW Arena, 541 Mantua Avenue in Paulsboro, New Jersey. Tickets, not many are left, but they're still available at eventbrite.com, and make sure to check out the MFPW and all things Monster Factory on Facebook, YouTube, Twitter, and Instagram. Plus at monsterfactory.org. And check out past matches, bios, bloopers, and more at the mfnetwork.com, which is the home for Monday Night Monsters, the weekly series of which I have the honor to do the play-by-play for. So we got a couple of minutes left, so we know what time it is. Well, in case you don't, it's time for...
Birthdays!
Thank you, Lucas, conspicuous by your absence. All right, 3 plus 2 Brucey bonuses. On this date in 1952, Philip Andre Rourke Jr. was born. The amateur boxer and actor from movies including Sin City, The Wrestler, and Iron Man 2, as well as making a noted appearance at WrestleMania 25, better known as Mickey Rourke, turns 65 today. Now, on this date in 1953, Kurt Fuller was born. Yeah, this is a stretch, but it barely fits in. The character actor known for movies such as Ghostbusters 2 and Wayne's World, who also worked alongside wrestlers Jesse Ventura in The Running Man and most notably Hulk Hogan in No Holds Barred as network television head Brell, turns 64 today. He's used to playing that tall, shrewd, either businessman or angry father with the daughter that's dating. He kind of has that bit type character thing there. Typecast, that's the word. On this date in 1961, Philip LaFon was born, the Canadian professional wrestler and former 5-time All-Asia Tag Team Champion, noted for teaming with Doug Furnas in All Japan Pro Wrestling, ECW, and the World Wrestling Federation, turns 56 today. And to the Brucey bonuses. Oh, these are going to be fun. On this date in 1956, David Seth Kotkin was born. The magician and illusionist who holds 11 Guinness World Records and is described by Forbes as the most commercially successful magician in history, best known as David Copperfield, turns 61 today. And on this date in 1971, Amy Poehler was born, the Golden Globe and Emmy award-winning actress and comedian, known for her television roles in Saturday Night Live and Parks and Recreation, turns 46 today. Happy birthday to all. That's going to do it for me. Come on down and see myself and hopefully Twitch. Hopefully Primal Fear didn't get to him early. Until next week, play us out, Nutsy.
1 o'clock in all's well.
This is your station for Phillies baseball and Eagles football on 14.